So I am really happy to have another client testimonial with Lynn. Thanks for joining me, Lynn, and thanks for your time coming on to talk about your experience, particularly of IMT, but the other work that we've done together. I just think it's really nice for other people to see a client journey and to find out the changes that we've made. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Um, so how did you find me? Why were you looking for someone?
Initially I found you on social media, and then I signed up for your newsletter, and then started looking through reviews. And then at the time I was away on holiday, and we had a
That's
Zoom
right.
call when I was away on holiday. Um, I I was looking for somebody because it wasn't really a holiday. I just ran away from my life. Was so overwhelmed, so burnt out, physically unwell. But I knew that I just wasn't putting everything all together with what was going on with my stress levels, and was wanting somebody to increase my awareness of
Mhm.
kind of what was going on with my health. And yeah, all the reviews I read were really positive, and when we spoke on the phone, it was really reassuring. And then I came along to do the Reconnect course and
That's
really
right. Yeah.
enjoyed the kind of somatic stuff. Took a lot away from that. Found it quite challenging, and then obviously moved on to one-to-ones.
Yeah. So we kind of, I think we've done like one of the IMT sessions. We picked like a longer session because I know we were talking about holding you in a bit of space that you could process before you ended up. Because I do that for people. It's like some people IMT is fine, they live on their own, they can go home and process it. But when you're going back to a great big environment, it can be a bit overwhelming. So we've done like one session, and then you started the reconnection course, which is really slow, isn't it? It's really slow indeed. And some of the yoga nidra was really hard for you to kind, because it was like
Yeah.
really getting back into your body. So how did you find, we discussed and did the IMT first because of what was happening for you, and it was really important to you to start to feel what was going on. So how did you find the IMT sessions?
I found them really quite powerful, very frightening, because I had been so disconnected to my emotions for so long. It took me a while to kind of process what was coming up,
Yeah.
and yeah, understanding what feelings were again, because I'd suppressed things for
Mm.
so long. And um very emotional, found them all. I don't think there was one EMT that I didn't cry for the full session.
Yeah.
But I'd not cried for 20 years or similar. So, yeah,
Yeah. Because you
huge
tried other
emotional
therapies as well,
release.
hadn't you? Yeah, sorry, you tried other therapies in some kind of groups, and obviously you
Loads.
into a lot of yoga and things like that. So that, you know, it's trying, isn't it? Trying everything, but actually, for a lot of people that come to find me, they kind of, I can just can't get out that bit. And I think that's what IMT, where it is so powerful, it starts to just open up a part, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so you found the sessions quite powerful, very emotional. I know we had a lot of tears, a lot of yawning, a lot of movement like that. And it, and sent you some journaling and things. And we had those two sessions and your reconnection. And then we talked about working together over a longer period, just because of some of the other stuff that was going on for you. And it was more really about getting into a space of regulation or being able to
Yeah.
regulate yourself. So how have you found those sessions working together?
Yeah, really, really good, really kind of empowering, like bringing some control back into my life instead of just hemorrhaging my energy everywhere, and just lacking in focus. I feel that it's brought a lot more direction,
Mm.
and it's given me like really good practices that I have to do every day to maintain my kind of balance in my nervous system, um, which you don't realize how important that is until you miss a couple of days, and then you think, oh, so just relearning a lot of stuff as well. And I think I had a lot of kind of emotional flashbacks. If you want, I would get caught up in this whole cycle of feeling absolutely dreadful, like the memories of like trauma things, and I couldn't step away from that. It was like you're just caught up in it. So I felt that after the first couple of sessions, I didn't actually even have that anymore. It was like being released from this horrible movie that keeps playing over and over in your mind,
Yeah.
and that kind of harsh inner critic blaming you for all the stuff. And so she stepped aside and helped,
That's great.
me process. And again, I honestly see that having the awareness of like what's going on in your body, where you're feeling stress, because I didn't have that at all before until I became very unwell. I didn't know even that I was stressed. I didn't know that I was struggling. I didn't know that I was heading at a million miles an hour towards burnout. It was everybody
Yeah.
else's fault. Nothing really to do with me. I was
No,
just watching their crazy. But
they're
the
crazy. It's not
whole time,
me, it's everyone else.
the whole time, yeah. So having awareness of that allows you to be able to do something about it. So again, relearning emotional intelligence, like kind of attachment and relationships, and understanding how like kind of childhood trauma really does impact not just your like mental well-being, it changes your physiology, your brain chemistry, it changes so many things. And I think that allowed me to be kinder to myself, understanding that. So it's allowed me to be a lot more compassionate towards myself,
And
not
that
so willing to take the blame for everybody else's stuff now.
that makes me want to like start cheering now. And it is hard, excuse me. And it is a process, we're never at the other end, but actually having that awareness, I think, is part of the grown-up self, isn't it, really? But the self-compassion is so important. So that's how we really change it. But until we know that what's going on, I know for me, my own story was definitely this really harsh inner critic and really understanding how that was affecting my body, how it still does affect my body, but connecting the dots. And I think there's been quite a bit of that for you, that mind body connection of like, well, I'm a little bit stressed out, I'm noticing this pattern. So some of that root cause practice really helping you to go, well, my body's actually talking to me now, what's going on
Yeah,
internally, where am I holding it? And that's really nice, especially for a large family, a family where you're in and out, which it's just nice to just be able to take a step back, and instead of being in that, this is your fault, I'm leaving it with you. And part of that, I think, was working with I suppose I work with the SSP slightly differently, is that I, obviously encourage people to check in and see how they're going. But for you, working within those 8 sessions as well is breaking through it and then using some of that mind body connection. How did you find the SSP?
again, I found that so powerful as well. At first, I was like, oh, some nice music to listen to. And then a couple of days later, I was like, what is this? Oh my God. But it was quite gentle. It wasn't, again, just awareness. Like,
Mm,
oh, what's happening in my body? Oh, like,
yeah,
what's going on?
like this
Whereas before,
memory type. Yeah, yeah,
power through. Don't listen to yourself. You're busy. You've got things to do. We've got no time for this. It made me really slow down and think, right, okay, what's going on?
yeah. That's great. That's great. It's so nice to see you slower and calmer, because actually during the time that we've worked together, I mean, there's been a couple of big changes for you, which are massive. So did you want to tell everybody about, like Christmas, and then just recently, because we're coming up to our final session?
Yep. So at Christmas time, I got engaged after being unable to accept love and kindness from anybody else. Suddenly, I was able to trust myself and allow myself to trust somebody else and allow myself to actually be loved and be happy and not ruin it for myself. To accept it, and yeah,
That's
so
lovely.
that was really good. And I had a few kind of oh my god moments like
It was an
you
interesting
can
Christmas
do this, Lynn. You
conversation.
can trust. You can allow yourself to be happy. Um, so that was really good. And now we're kind of going through the process of moving to our dream home in the countryside for a much quieter, much more sedate pace of life that we're both like so really looking forward to. But impatient for it to be happening in in
Slowing it
the
down and just
few weeks.
enjoying
But yeah,
it.
uh-huh,
Yeah, and that, I know kind of a couple of sessions ago, because those have been slowing down recently with just life for both of us. But um, that was something we really discussed and focused on. And it was it kind of took up a whole session where we were like, so what's in that process of moving home and how does that feel? And, being able to say yes to yourself. And so I'm just so like I was just a bit jealous. I'm joking. But actually, it was just lovely to see so much growth, it's particularly in the last few sessions, because I know some of the sessions have been pretty tough. So I'm just so incredibly pleased for you both.
thank
I suppose I would really ask one final question. So how did you feel? Like, if we're going to give one word for each, how did you feel when you started to work with me, and how do you feel now?
When I started, I was terrified, absolutely terrified. Everything in my life was terrifying. Um, Now I feel I still have fears, but they don't get blown out of all proportion. I feel much more grounded, much more aware of what's happening emotionally. My health is so much better, so much better. Um, and that was one of the big things that was frightening me at the start.
Yeah.
Um, Going from getting horrible diagnosis, autoimmune stuff, having vertigo that stopped me working, and realizing that it was all my nervous system and bringing it back to a place of kind of health and balance and calm and regulation, hopefully. Yeah, that was a lot of words. That wasn't just one word.
A lot of words is fine. So how are you feeling now, kind of, because we've got one last session before you start to, disappear out of my life. How
Not
does that?
uh,
No, I know.
not
How do you feel now, the other end, kind of?
um happy.
That's
I
great.
feel joy. I feel joy at times. I don't feel joy all the time, but I'd never experienced joy.
Yeah.
I was talking about my to my friend this morning, and like sharing like joyful experiences, and telling her that she brought joy to my life today because like having a chat with her and stuff. So it's like being able to share that joy with other people as well is just that's priceless, honestly. Um, so yeah, I
That's
feel
great.
quite joyous.
Yeah, making me tear up a little bit now, so that's good. So if you could give anyone any advice looking to go for kind of IMT, SSP, or working with me, over a longer period of time, what kind of advice would you give them?
Oh, I would say definitely go for it. Definitely go for it. Like you're so reassuring, and the first session I met you, I felt I could trust you, and trust is a huge big thing for me. So
Yeah.
you you inspire trust. So
Oh, that's nice. That's nice to know. And I'm so pleased. And I'm just like seeing, our journey. It's really only been a year, hasn't it? I suppose maybe just less than actually.
yes, yeah,
Where you know, you do that, a little short core group course, and then a few 8 sessions over a longer period of time. And there's so much work goes in with the SSP, and you know, you've really, really gone in there and been like, yeah, I might need to take a break sometimes, but I'm just ready. I'm ready to be happy. And I think that's really, that makes a huge difference to have that intention when you start to come, right, I've had enough, but actually I've had enough because I deserve more than this, which is really lovely. And so
Mm-hmm.
you do. And so great luck and just fantastic happiness in your new home.
Thank
And
you.
thanks for your time, Lynn. I really
Oh
appreciate
no,
it.
thank you so much. Honestly, thank you.